Aho! Young warrior. Looks as though you've tasted the white man's lead. William Knife Man. Came over that hill real rugged like. But then the damn horse hit a gopher hole. Fucking rolled over and squashed me. I died there. This horse actually, little shit. The spirit world. It's cold. My nipples are always hard.
I just wanted to put that in there, so. Welcome back to Nobody's Listening, where nobody's even podcasting, where my name is Jared. I am the intern attempting to get everybody on one calendar, trying to make sure everybody shows up on time. And as always, the host with the most, Jake. Jake, welcome. Thank you for being on time. As always, how are we doing today, sir?
Very tired, but otherwise good.
So, it is now 1:18. We're supposed to start at 1 p.m. CST time. I even sent out calendar invites. I adjusted everything to make sure everybody knew about it. And still, Jake and I are the only two to show up on time. And I feel like Jake, even though he wasn't military, still has that ethos. 15 minutes early, you're late. And I appreciate that about you, sir. I appreciate that.
Hey, jackass, the picture you sent even shows that I didn't get the calendar invite, you motherfucker. It only
says-
shows you and Jake have it accepted. No, learn how to read a
No.
Google calendar invite.
Not-
Accepted. It was sent
Accepted.
to you. You didn't accept it.
Yes. And I
Yes.
thought you were
So
in the
you're
middle
like,
of raid.
you have the calendar invite and had it and accepted it. No, I didn't, jackass.
No, I said he's the
I
only
get
one to accept it.
10,000 emails a day. I didn't accept
Mhm.
it. You said I'm the
No.
only one to accept it.
Jake was the only one to accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got
sent,
the email
no,
right.
No. From Jared today, 12:07 p.m. I sent a calendar invite that you accepted. Next text from Jared is a fucking screenshot
Yeah.
of 3 guests. 2 yeses, 1 awaiting. Who's the one awaiting? David fucking Pearson.
That's true. That's true. He does have you there.
He does have me there, but I sent it like an hour after the
Yeah.
podcast when you asked me to send you a calendar invite.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
an hour after the podcast, I was recording another fucking podcast, asshole.
Also
That's-
true.
That's not my
Also,
fault.
Hey, David, want to record another podcast after this?
Yeah, that was the plan, Jake. I even told fucking our buddy Andrew, hey, I have to get off at 1 because I have to record with fucking Jared and Jake because Jared is like, hey, we have to record at 1. So the raid that I was just in, I was like, this is my last one so that I can be like 30 minutes early.
And then
God
what
damn it.
happened? What happened though?
What happened is it's not fucking 1 o'clock yet.
1 p.m. CST. That we've always
Yeah.
said 1 p.m. CST.
You say 1. You just say 1. So what got in my brain? 1.
It's
You want me
always
to show you the calendars that I have to try to fucking memorize?
no, because if it wasn't for my work calendar, motherfucker, I'd be dead in the water. If it wasn't,
Yeah, exactly. I have to memorize my work calendar and my boss's. And then I also have my own personal calendar,
Good
which,
God.
by the way,
Mhm.
I did not get a notification that I was invited to a Google thing. So I see that you sent it. I'm not saying you didn't,
Mhm.
but it never came through on
That
my
is
phone.
that
I
is
got
your
invited
email.
to
That's you though,
That's
right?
my email. Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Okay, then fuck Google. Is it your iPhone or is it your Google one?
It's my iPhone, but it's
Oh.
linked to all of my Google stuff. And I
I-
never got a notification that I was invited to something.
Send me your iPhone one, and I'll invite you through that because I know when I was trying to do the thing with Canada, I ended up having some problems, and I ended up just having to create my own iPhone one. So if you've got your
Well, I'll be honest,
iPhone,
I don't know what my
Ca-
I don't know what the fuck my iPhone one
you
is.
don't know what your iPhone
I
one
use
is.
no, dude. I use Gmail for everything.
Yeah,
Hang
that's
on, I'm
that's
getting
what
my
I did.
camera right now.
But I know that you guys got Pal World, and I wanted to talk to you guys actually all about Pal World kind of today because I really kind of want to get it, and I'm really fucking interested. in the game, and I want to get your guys' opinion on the PAL world. All right.
I gotcha.
Because it looks fun. I've seen a lot of like, there's this guy. I think he's like Pirate Software or something like that. Is what his name is, and his whole stick is like he's a streamer that codes and does all this fun shit, and like he's like, all right, you want to know what this game is all about? You see that? That's supposed to be a Pokemon. Blam! He shoots it with a gun, and I was like, yep. That's the game that I want. I want to be a part of that. Oh, David, you got a haircut. Looking sexy as shit, man.
Thank you.
Like it. So, what was your guys' like? What made you want to get Pal World? Let's start with that question.
Kyle went, "Hey, there's a new game and you can do horrible things." And we said, "Bet."
David said, "Hey, I'm buying you Pal World so we can stream it," and I said, "Okay."
Okay. So I guess you had no idea what it was. You're just, I know I can do horrible things on this game. I'm gonna do it.
No, I had
wasn't my
seen some of the
motivation,
build
but-
up to it.
Okay.
Mostly the problem, the big
The
problem.
problem.
Yeah,
What's the problem, Jake?
a lot of their designs are like very blatant Pokemon ripoffs. Like very, very blatant.
Very blatant. Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I've heard if you like cherry pick, right? You can go, oh, this is really bad. This is really bad. This is really bad.
You don't have to cherry pick.
It's just everything.
Like there's
It's
a
not everything,
handful.
but-
Yeah, there's a handful I've seen that like there's no correlation, but most of them look like, I'd say like 50% of them it's like this is clearly inspired by this Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like 20% don't look anything like Pokemon, and then like 30% are like this is a reskinned Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they look like shiny Pokemon. Like literally just new. Yeah, it's problematic in that aspect, but the game is so much fucking fun, and I want to argue with all of the people who, because they're fucking like Pokemon is their identity, they can't admit when something else is at least enjoyable. This is a better game than most Pokemon games.
Hard disagree on that.
Right,
I
you would, because
I think it's an okay game. I think it's a fun game.
I think it's definitely one of right, but it's an entire genre of game that you don't like, Jake.
That's also true.
So the fact that you saying
But-
it's an okay game is pretty high praise,
But
considering it literally combines two genres that you hate.
with one that I absolutely love.
Right.
But
Well-
it's Monster
well,
Race. But
okay.
here's my thing.
Mm.
It's the analogy that I came up with that I keep coming back to because it feels so true to me is that it's the turducken of games. It's all of these different elements from games, some of which I like, some of which I don't, mashed together in a way that, like, as I'm, consuming it, I'm like, yeah, this is fun and enjoyable. But if I put even a second of thought into it, I'm like, oh, this is an abomination. Like,
Well-
because every mechanic in the game, every single mechanic in the game feels lifted from something else directly. Nothing about it feels original or new or innovative or interesting.
Well, let me pose this question to you though. How many new mechanics and games can you get now that we've got thousands of games, thousands of indie games out there where it's inevitable that you're going to have a repeat?
Yeah, but there's a difference between having like a same idea or like a similar mechanic and the presentation and execution of the mechanic being essentially identical to another game.
Now,
And it's also a thing of like that's what this company does. Every game they've had is like this.
it's a bunch of things that they think people want put together as one to combine kind of a quote like a what was that super band, Black Velvet or Cherry Velvet or some shit like that, where it's just a bunch of great
Yes.
artists put together. Yeah.
Yes, except they're not the artists.
And apparently it is what people want.
So
Fair.
David, before I jump to your stuff, I want to ask Jake, what are the two elements that you don't like about this game?
I don't like base building, and I don't like survival games.
Why don't you like base building games?
I just find it so boring and tedious.
But isn't that kind of what Minecraft is though? And 7 Days to
Yes,
Die?
which I'm not a huge fan of.
And you're not a fan of 7 Days to Die either.
Not a huge fan of. They're fun for a little bit, but I get bored of them pretty quick.
Okay. So David, why do you think this is a great game then?
Because it allows you to do things, and so like Jake's primary complaint against it is why it feels fresh and new, because it is a survival base building game wherein all of the others that are on the market, you're like, God, I just want to be able to do this one fucking thing. Let me do this thing. And you get to do it in this game. Like, so I don't know, like it definitely allows me to have a lot more of the mechanics that frustrate me and that I want to be able to do in other games that are like this. So
Yeah, I do have another more specific complaint about the game. And that's that I hate how it kind of pushes you to do the shitty mistreat your pals thing.
does
Well,
it?
like one of the things, yes,
Well,
absolutely. Even what Jared was describing about, like, I wanted to play this game because I saw someone pull out a gun and shoot a Pokemon. Like,
well, it's a new way to catch your it's your new way to catch your pal, right? It's a new way to do it. But I mean, like,
it annoys me because it's like it's taking the like joke that people make about Pokemon about like it's about making your Pokemon fight, which like most monster raising games like take great pains to like try to endear you to the monsters. This game is like, no, they're your literal slaves and you're going to murder them and butcher them and put them into bad science machines.
It gives you the option to do that.
It's like most of the pet raising mechanics are built around doing those things, though.
No, it's not. My entire build is based around keeping every pet and pal at the base at 100%.
that grimace.
Like, I have to make sure that they're happy, that they're fed, that they don't get sick. Like, everything that I have running in that game is based around being a good fucking person.
It's about keeping them alive to do labor for you.
You're a Pokemon fan. What the fuck?
Yes, and Pokemon goes out. That's what I'm saying. Pokemon, a lot of the things that annoy people about Pokemon are the things that, like, this game is making me realize you kind of need to make you actually give a shit about them and, like, think of them not as that. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's why all of Pokemon is, like, people telling you, you bond with the Pokemon, and, like, all these explanations, like, you're not actually
only to make
like,
them
hurting
fight
them.
in a gladiatorial arena for your
Right.
amusement.
No, because that's what they like to do. That's what I'm saying. Pokemon goes to great lengths to like be like to make it okay to do that. This game is like, no, they're nothing.
Oh, see, Jake is saying that in the Pokemon universe, it is more acceptable to put them to the grind because, quote, they enjoy doing it and it's what they like. Whereas in Power World, they're just random things out in the wild doing whatever the fuck they do, and it feels more like we're actually trying to torture and enslave the pals.
Yes, and you're literally murdering them and being like, taking their body parts.
If you want to talk about morality of any type of game like this, they're all fucking horrible. Of course, Pokemon fucking like to fight because you raise them in a fucking cage and poke them with a stick, and they only get rewarded when they fight.
No, you don't. You take them out and you take them to camp and you pat them and stuff.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Yes.
Yes,
you do.
Yeah,
I played
Pokemon
the original
Let's Go.
fucking Pokemon.
Dude, in the Pokemon Let's Go, yes, you pet them, you feed them, you do all that cute stuff where you pet them. But in all the other Pokemon games, like the original OG
every
Yellows and
Pokemon
stuff,
since X and Y, which at this point is like half of them.
what? I'm an OG 151. All right, fight me. There's no Gen 2, Gen 3. That is all Ash. That is Ash living under a stairwell, being abused by his parents, just like Hogwarts was to Harry Potter. Right? There is no Gen 2, Gen 3. That is a fallacy. That is a dream because of a concussion that Ash got when Pikachu electroshocked him in the episode 2. Was it in the anime where he gets electroshocked by Pikachu? Right? And he learns, I got to wear the gloves. Yeah.
I don't care about the anime. The anime's garbage.
Whatever. But I'm just saying, like, you don't get to pet or do a whole lot of anything to your Pokemon until the later generations. The original ones are just they're your personal gladiator. Where like, go fight my minions.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But my
Also,
point is,
you can
it's
pet
not even
every
a more.
single
It's not.
pal in this fucking game too, and
It's
you can
Gen
have them
1.
run around. You can build them a fucking spa. Like, come on, Jake. Your
Okay,
arguments
but
pro
it's not a
Pokemon
moral
also
argument.
exist in.
It's not even a moral argument. You're ignoring my actual argument. My point is that it incentivizes you not to care about them mechanically.
No, it doesn't.
Yes,
No,
it
doesn't.
fucking does.
I want to hear his reason why it incentivizes you to not care.
Okay, because how do you improve them? You take a bunch of them and you grind them into one. How do you get meat? You butcher them. How do you, like, 90% of the time when you're trying to catch them, you end up killing them. Like,
Yeah,
and it's like they drop their meat, so it's explicitly like, yo, you're killing them.
Yes, you
They
can.
feel
eat the pal.
disposable.
but you grind Pokemon into candies.
Have Pokemon never drop? Do Pokemon not drop items? Because
No.
I'm pretty sure the last Pokemon that I
Nope.
played, you get
Honestly,
items for
nope.
winning battles.
They do not. You get money for beating trainers. They do not drop items.
Really? Because Sword and Shield, they do. You get.
No, they
items
don't.
after-
No, they don't, David.
How did we
How-
get items in our Nuzlocke?
You pick them up and you buy them. They are not dropped.
I never bought anything on my Nuzlocke run.
Then you pick them up.
Mm.
I guarantee you, as someone who has beat that game multiple times, David, they do not drop items. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just
I
wrong.
asked, Jake, I asked a question. I didn't say they. I said they do it.
No,
first,
and then
I
you
asked.
said, yes, they do in Sword and Shield because I played it.
I asked. I
And
said
then you
in Sword and
answered,
Shield.
then I
don't
answered
they?
it, and you said you're wrong.
I didn't say you were wrong. You're the only one who said you were wrong.
No, I said, no, they don't. And you said, well, in Sword and Shield, they do.
Yeah.
That's saying I'm wrong.
And then you said, no, they don't. I must have picked them up. And I said, okay. You're just too angry. You're in that fucking shaky state and you're not listening.
Jake,
You
No,
want to
I
argue
am.
right now. But
That's true.
Jake,
but
Jake, Pal World, motherfucker, same shit as fucking Pokemon. You have the option to do all those things, but you also, if you want them to actually be able to do any of the shit that benefits you and moves you forward, you have to keep them healthy. You have to build the spas for them, specifically designed for them to relax and feel better. You have to build like things so they have food and places to sleep and they perform better and fight better for you and give you better purpose when you build them, like better beds and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The better their quality of life is, the better things you can do. It incentivizes you to take care of them the same way Pokemon does. And you can pet them, feed them, interact with them individually more than Pokemon.
more easily than Pokemon.
in,
That's true.
in the Pokemon MMO, they actually do drop items.
That's
Boom.
fair, but that's also not an official game. That's
Yeah,
not.
that also-
That's not
yeah.
yeah, that's a fan made game.
Oh, okay. That would explain why it looks weird.
Yeah, the
And-
only
and-
thing
You are correct that you like get rid of Pokemon for candy in the Pokemon Go games, which also annoys me and I dislike for the same reasons.
That is fair. That is fair.
I don't, in a monster raising game, I don't want the whatever the monsters are to feel disposable, and they do to me in Pal World.
isn't like Monster Rancher one of your favorite fucking games, like in that
Yeah.
genre?
Yeah, and they've never felt disposable to me in Monster Rancher.
They were always disposable in Monster Rancher.
How? Most of them you can only have one at a time, so you literally have to focus on raising it because that's the entire game.
And then mash it into a fucking thing to then breed your next one.
No, they die of old age.
How old do they get?
I don't
thought
remember.
Monster Rancher was the one where you have to like mash two of them together to then make the new one.
Yeah, Monster Rancher, I think 3 or 4, they added like a fusing mechanic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say because that was I have clear memories of that, but not clear enough to be like it was this game.
Wow.
But yeah, I've never, except for to test it when we first built it, I've never used the essence combiner thing. Like, I like the fact that you can be a giant piece of shit. you can be a monster if you want, or you can be a decent human being. I like games with options and choices.
You can also just not engage with the monsters at all. You don't
You can,
actually
yeah, you
need
can
them,
be.
which
Well,
is
I
no, like
disagree.
it would be a very hard, very different, much more boring game without them. But I think you could do it. I haven't encountered
Ah,
anything where you have to have them.
In Monster, you guys are
yeah,
talking
no,
about
because
Monster
you
Hunter,
have
right?
to catch. No, we're talking about Pal World.
Oh, okay.
You have to catch things in order to unlock certain things on the tech tree as you go up.
Do you? Oh well,
Yeah,
yeah, but you will. But those are the specific things for those monsters is what they unlock.
but so yes, but they also unlock other stuff later on. So like
Okay.
you have to be able to build X saddle to in order to unlock things down the tree. It's usually like 5 or 6 levels down. So most of the time, like I haven't had an issue with it because I'm going around catching them anyways. But it seems to me that I hit my first wall to where I've got like two things where I'm missing the right Pokemon like from 5 levels before. So
Gotcha.
yeah. So I don't know that you could go through the whole thing without interacting with them, but I also like that that's an option. If someone wants to just be like, I'm going to grind up and build me a base and make some guns and protect myself from these wild monsters and be the redneck fucking Eastern Oregon, Northern Idaho crazy person, cool, you can do it.
Yeah, I guess it's the issue of I'm coming at it mostly because again, like the genre that's in it that I like is monster raising games, and again, it makes all of the pals feel kind of like not like characters but like tools,
But I mean, if
Right.
you
and
look
And
I
at
think
the
that's part of it.
if you look at the
depending on how
Pokemon
you
universe,
approach it.
though, remember Squirtles were part of Squirtles, Wartortles, Blastoise. They were all part of the fire department. You know, you look at a lot of the Pokemon; they were tools in the regular Poke universe, doing other jobs that they were probably more or less conscripted into. You know, so I
Hmm.
mean, if you want to talk about them being as tools, Pokemon is literally the same thing. Like a bunch of Pikachu's helped when everything would go down as kind of a back. They're basically a backup electrical grid, right? So I think maybe it's because this game it feels like that's the whole point is to continue to go. Whereas in Pokemon, they were more of like, oh, well, we got a bunch of Pichus and Raichus here that can help if something does happen. You know, it
Well,
doesn't feel like we have to do this certain thing with them to make it X, Y, Z.
and again, it's not a moral argument because yes, morally, like even with all the loopholes they jump through, like obviously there's problems with like the whole Pokemon idea.
Yeah, yeah.
But it doesn't when I'm playing Pokemon, it doesn't feel that way because it does so much to like endear those monsters to you. It's why like the first starter you choose is like so important to people. Because it's a process that's like custom designed to endear you to these monsters and make them feel important to you.
Unless you're an
Which
asshole.
Power World hasn't done that for me.
You can choose to do that. I think the difference is that it doesn't try to force you to be any one way. It gives you an option. Like I definitely like I have my 5 team, and yes, it would be much smarter for me, especially at the level that I'm at, to like rotate them through and have backups for them and things like that so that I can rotate them and utilize them for their but I'm like, nah, fuck it. I like these 5. These are the ones that stick with me, period. Because
See,
that's the way I'm playing the game.
fair. Oh, for me, it's the way that like by giving those options, it's kind of presenting it as this is a world that doesn't care about these things. Like even the first NPC you talk to is like, all the pals killed all my friends. They're monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like it feels like a world that doesn't care about these monsters. So why would I?
but then you also find other uh NPCs that you talk to and they start talking about like the wild like uncontrolled ones who run around and murder everybody, but then you also like run into people just like in Pokemon that are like, I'll be the best pal tamer and trainer in the world, and like then you run across, people who are like all about setting the pals free and all this shit. So
How
yeah,
big are the
it's
servers?
uh I don't know. We haven't, so we don't own a server. We only have like local hot seat type server, so I have to be on with the game booted up. But like I can have, I think, I'll log in and double check here in just a second. But I think I can have like 15 to 20 people on my server.
Oh, so like if you start a game, it's one of those. It was like I forget what those games where you basically are like, hey, come join me if I need assistance, right? Okay, I got you. It's a solo
No,
online game, or
no, we're all in the same world. It's just because they have limited servers because they're still a beta game. I haven't paid to have a constant server that's up all the time. So the
ah,
server is only active if I'm on and active.
gotcha.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Minecraft works.
Yeah.
Where like if you don't have a server, you can still have people playing in the same world as you, but it's dependent on you being online.
Okay, that makes
And
more
it
sense.
looks like it's also limited to 4 people unless you have an actual server. At least according to a quick Google search.
Fair enough.
I'm looking at the settings right now to see how many people I'm limited
Because I'm
But despite all that complaining, I said Pal World is fun.
to.
despite everything, it is fun.
Yeah, like
really
again,
is.
it's a game that like as I played it, I'm like having fun as long as I'm not thinking about it.
Not actively
Like,
thinking about the horrors you're instilling. Okay, no, that's fair. That's
No,
fair.
we don't do horrors. That's what we've been. We're the good guys. Fucking. Oh, I almost called you Jesse. Fuck.
Wow.
Jared.
But are we? Are we the good guys in this scenario?
We are.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jake, I am curious because it seems like we have reached that point where I want to know how far you've made it in Nobody's Listening.
I've listened to significantly less this week than the last few. I'm on episode 85.
Okay. Well, I think it's time that we.
The Human Resources Department requires that I be available once a month to discuss workplace disputes with my employees.
I don't give a fuck.
Fair enough.
Don't give a fuck.
So I guess you can complain all you want, Jake, but there's not much I'm going to do about it, brother. So, I mean, what did you find? What did Jake discover this week?
Well, this is gonna be a brief one. I've only got 2 notes down this time.
Okay.
The first one is just 2-hour episodes. What is this file under?
Okay.
Like the last few I've listened to have been over 2 hours.
Yeah, Eric. When I first met Eric through Redditor podcast guest exchange, he was like one of the very first people that made me do like an extended episode. Because I think the first time him and I actually recorded was like 3.5 hours or something like that. Now that episode, I was like deathly ill with like the flu or something, and I was gonna put it off. I wasn't gonna do it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this guy a shot, and it was like one of the best podcasts I've ever had because it was like I clicked so well, right? And it was like the first time I played with David, right? It was insta click because of the way that we played the games, and it's very rare that I got that chance. But yeah, that's probably where I got it from.
This is pre that episode. The episode's like
Okay.
coming up, but it's one I actually get to see because I actually already listened to that one.
Okay.
I listened to that one the first time we were gonna come on. I listened to that, and then what were at the time like the 2 or 3 newest episodes.
Okay. All right. What was the other complaint that you had besides the length?
Not a complaint, but an observation, and that's that Jared is a secret spreadsheet freak. Sorry, not Jared.
Okay. How did you come to that conclusion?
Because you've been bringing up more and more examples of different games that you've made spreadsheets for, which, as a spreadsheet freak myself, and Eric also being a spreadsheet freak, I'm like, oh, Jared's secretly one of us. He's just he's not as open about his disgusting, filthy spreadsheet habit.
No. If there's something that I need in a game, I'll be like, all right, I need this, and then like I can check it off as I go, right? I don't build like whole tables with what are they like rotating tables. Or I feel like I got a buddy that I work with that is like hardcore into Microsoft Excel, and he runs all that shit. He puts in the formulas and stuff. Usually, I'm just like, all right, I need this, and then like I can categorize everything, and then I can go, oh, I'm hunting for that. Oh, I got it. Check it off, right? So I guess I I dip my toe in it. All right, I dip my toe in it. It's not a complete. I'm doing everything, but yeah, I dip my toe in it. So I got you.
Yeah. I don't know. You said you had a spreadsheet for your inventory in Fallout. That's
a little much.
yeah.
No, it's not. Not.
Yeah,
no.
it is. As a Fallout fan, that's a little much.
Look, remember, I don't know if you guys remember when I did the Can You Beat series, right? Where I would try to beat it in different ways. Yeah, do you know how fucking hard it was to like kind of just like pay attention to what I could and couldn't use and making sure that I was within the guidelines of everything? Yeah, that shit sucked. All right. I loved, but I also hated that series with a passion because it was so fucking difficult. But yeah, I needed a spreadsheet, dude. I needed one. So fucking get off my dick.
Yeah. Oh no, I understand, Jared. I'm one of you, but you just need to acknowledge that you're a spreadsheet sicko.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not, dude. At least I don't know formulas, man. I don't know formulas. All right.
That's fine.
That's
You
not.
don't have to be good at the spreadsheets.
You just have to like them.
Yeah. It's about the perverse joy of filling out those cells.
The perverse joy. I'm not over here going, oh yeah, oh hello, look at that thing, it works.
Yeah,
Oh.
you sicken me, Jared.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm allowed. All right, I'm allowed to be a little perverse. So David, sorry, Jake.
Oh no, go ahead. I was gonna say those are my only notes.
Okay. Well, I did the mandatory HR thing where I had to be available for all complaints and lodged, and I'll say it was a good week. That soundbite doesn't need Dana White in there. I should just cut that out. I'll make that adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, David,
Yeah.
I wanted to apologize to you, good sir. I've not been in the Discord server a lot lately, and it's because I have found a lady. The universe strikes again. Have I ever told you guys about how furniture dictates when I get a girlfriend?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you fucking kidding me?
Dead serious, bro. Dead fucking serious. I am 110% dead serious. It strikes again, baby.
Tell us the story, Jared. I'm invested.
Okay. All right. So
I just want you to know,
yeah.
if I stop answering your text messages, there's no reason. Don't worry about it. Everything's
okay.
fine.
No, that's fair. That's fair. So Jake, going back. All right. Before I met Sarah, I had a big couch, right? I was like, it's been me. I've had this couch for 2 years. There's no reason I should have this couch. It's just my dumbass. I don't ever use it. Fuck it. It's gone. I sell it, right? And then all of a sudden, on Facebook dating, I get a match, and it's Sarah. Sarah's like, hell yeah, I'd love to come over. I'd love to hang out. And I'm like, I don't have a fucking couch. I don't have a love seat. I don't have anything. I have that little gray outdoor chair, and that's it. That's what I sometimes watch TV on, all right? So I had to go get a chair. I had to get something in the house, right? So I get a couple of just recliners. Fine, I have it, right? I am about to get a love seat from a lady this last Sunday. I'm about to get a love seat, about to change out, about to remove my recliner, and I get a match on Facebook dating. This girl hits me up, and then immediately on Monday night we go bowling. Wednesday night she comes over, and I just had another date night with her where basically she became my girlfriend last night. And it was all because I switched out to a love seat from a single recliner chair. Where I was like, I should upgrade because what if I need somebody in my life? And now I've officially upgraded, aka on both ends. And so every time I decide to make an adjustment to the furniture in my house, I get a girlfriend. Yeah.
I feel like this can't be healthy. Like, I'm happy for you.
No.
But I'm so, like...
It's happened twice now, David.
I know, that's why I'm saying it can't be healthy.
Twice in a row, too. So, I mean... And I wasn't even the one that started it, right? I got a notification from Facebook that was like, hey, Jennifer likes you, swipe back. I was like, sure, I'll swipe back. And then a day later, she fucking responded to me. We had a whole discourse, and I was like, I really like bowling. And she goes, you free Monday night to go bowling? I was like, yeah, I'm free to go Monday night bowling. And then we had a date. I had sushi. I ate in front of her in public, which is a big thing for me. But yeah, fucking, yeah. Oh, ever since I got sick with that stomach thing that I've been dealing with, David, eating in front of people is weird and going out to eat is weird, but I felt wildly comfortable, and it was the first time in my life I ever had sushis, and sushi is fucking delicious.
Wait, you never had sushi before?
No.
I'm more concerned about that than the girlfriend thing.
Why?
Like, bro.
Why? Why is that so weird?
Because sushi's amazing. Also, how do you make it into your 30s without at least trying it?
I don't know. Probably because it's raw fish, and I've always been like, ew, no, I don't want to get food poisoning.
Especially as a weeb and a nerd. How do you make it that far without trying it?
I am not a weeb, all right? I don't have a titty mouse pad. Really? That's where we draw. That's where weeb is.
It's way further than me, and they call me a fucking weeb.
Jared, what? How many? What characters do you have tattooed on you?
I have Yoshi and a. Well, the only reason why there's a girl tattooed.
Not the question.
The only reason why there's a half-naked girl tattooed on my arm is because my best buddy Brad, who passed away, always watched an anime show with women in it. She just happens to be Irish, and the reason why she's wearing Saiyan armor is because it was the first anime that we bonded over, because it was the first anime we ever watched. So to your point, Jake, I wouldn't have a half-naked woman tattooed on my body if it wasn't for Brad. So
okay.
But I mean, if I had my way at the age of 18, I'd have a swimsuit model tattooed on my back who was basically naked. So, I mean, to your point, fair.
I will also say, up until this exact second, I thought that tattoo of the woman and the like Dragon Ball tattoo were separate tattoos.
No, she is. It's her wearing a bunch of Saiyan armor, or what is left of the Saiyan armor, because I was like, yeah, hot anime chick wearing Saiyan armor, and the guy's like, bet, and he drew it, and I was like, yeah, I want that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I knew about that tattoo, and then in one of your episodes, you had mentioned having a Dragon Ball tattoo.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to me that they would be the same tattoo.
Yeah, no, she's wearing the Saiyan armor, which he got wrong, but the yellow wouldn't look so good on my skin.
Right.
I'm a pasty motherfucker.
Fair. Relatable.
But yeah, so furniture and my love life go hand in hand.
Yeah. I'm all in on the superstition.
Thank you, Jake.
I hate it so much.
That's David. Why do you think they call it a love seat?
I know he made that same joke. God damn it!
See, that's science, is what that is.
You're both the worst, and I hate you.
Why? Why are we the worst?
Because you are.
It's not my fault. Dude, look, if it works, it works. All right. I gotta constantly switch out my furniture.
Sometimes. Constantly. Wait, now you're planning to fail. Now I like it even less.
Yeah. When she's said and done with me and finds out how terrible of a human being I am, just all right, I'll go back to another recliner and oh look, another swipe right on Facebook dating. Cool, we'll see how long this lasts. Right? Just ever rotating.
Jared,
constant.
now I'm sad. Let's no.
Yeah, you're turning this from fun superstition into sad, Jared.
Yeah.
But you need to believe that it's gonna work out, buddy.
I know.
I believe in you.
Just hold on to the love seat for eternity and we'll be good.
Saying that now, I'm just picturing a scenario where like the love seat like breaks, and Jared's like,
Oh,
"Well,
no.
20 years in, but we got to get a divorce. The love seat's gone."
Dude, that is exactly what went through my mind. Yes. Oh, Jared.
It's okay.
I will say, I feel less bad about me and Kyle giving you shit about the furniture relationship than last time now, because it turned out to be right.
Dude, whatever works, right? Whatever works, baby. Whatever works.
No, sometimes it's not whatever works, Jared.
Look,
But I'm happy for you. Okay? Don't take it the wrong way.
I'm happy for you too, David. I'm happy.
Why are you
for
happy
you
for
too.
me? Ain't shit going on in my life. Fuck.
No, that's true. Dude, what happened Friday? What happened Friday? Like nobody was in the Discord Friday. Like nobody was there to play.
Yeah, because no one's there anymore.
That makes me sad.
If I'm not there or Kyle's not there, you all left me.
I did.
And more people join now if Kyle's there than if I'm there. I get it. People don't like me. It's fair. I'm fucking abrasive and obnoxious, so I know about I know about myself. I know who I is.
I am curious because I know you guys took a stand against playing like Activision games. Now that everything is making an adjustment, quote unquote, hopefully, are you interested at all in going back to Call of Duty games for streaming?
No.
Still not on that train.
So like here's the thing. They make shit games. So I don't have any interest in playing any of their games. The last several ones that I've seen, it's just they look bad. So even if Activision was a perfect company, I'm good.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, like I do think like with Bobby Kotick gone, and they've like Microsoft kind of cleaned house when they took over. Like, if Kyle or David are like, "Hey, do we want to play this Activision or Blizzard game?" They're like, "Yeah, sure, we can try that," but there's not really any Activision or Blizzard games recently that I actually want to play.
Right?
So it's kind of become a moot point because like I was excited for Overwatch 2 when it launched, and then it kind of turned out to be a clusterfuck.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, I got that. This isn't really a relevant point anymore.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you guys tried the finals at all?
I've seen it, but man, I just don't want to play shooters that make me feel like I have to do Adderall to play them.
What? Why
the finals, if you're not like moving at 3,000% speed and flicking your mouse like you're fucking Shroud, then there's no point in even trying with that fucking game, man. I've watched a lot of gameplay of it, and that's all it seems it is. So
it is a very
I have no
loot and
interest in
scoot. It is very loot and scoot, and
it's well, and high tier gameplay of it is like Apex on cocaine, and Apex is already one of the fastest moving first person shooters out there right now. So like it's too fast for me. I don't want to have to fucking take an adrenaline shot to play a video game.
I think that's what I miss about Call of Duty a little bit is with Tarkov it is slow, smooth is fast. However, I miss that kind of just high-paced go every once in a blue moon, and I think that's why I like it is because you can do that. And to your point, yeah, when I play the small character, just quick, fast, and in a hurry with a little grabbing hook, get in, grab the cash, get the fuck out. Like I'm good at that, and I kind of like that. But yeah, I do like it though because I've won a few rounds.
Yeah, no disrespect or hate to the people playing it. Like I've got a lot of buddies who play it and love it. Awesome. I just like even Apex, man. Trying to go back to that, like I hate it. It's not fun. I don't enjoy it anymore. It's not for me. But I mean, if you like it, cool. More power to you. Like it's just not my style of game anymore.
Just seeing if seeing if you were, because I noticed that you guys did do the PAL stream, and I was wondering, are we gonna get back to streaming? Is that something Let's Play Deathray is looking into, or because I'd love to collab with a bunch of shit now that I'm really into it with Blights, and we're really trying to do it. And for the days that he's not into it or the days that you guys are streaming, I'd love to coincide with you guys on something. There's that not in the repertoire because of all the shenaniganry that goes on with work and stuff.
Yeah, so that becomes my issue. I'd like to, but I don't know when I'm coming home at 4, or when I'm coming home at 5, or when I'm coming home at 9 o'clock at night.
Ah,
And my schedule is so inconsistent, and the inconsistency really seems to, like, obviously fuck with them, and so I don't know. Could we get back to it? Yeah, probably, with a little bit of, but also, I'll be honest, I kind of have enjoyed taking a little extra time to just spend doing whatever the fuck I want. Uh, um,
Fair.
but I don't know. We'll probably get back to it. I was going to talk to them about trying to start again now that I don't think seem to. There's a little. I mean, there will always be with what I do in the position I have now. Some just fecal matter hit the oscillator and we're fucked. But
mhm.
it's starting to get back to a little bit more consistency. So
That's fair.
So I don't know. We'll see. Um, we'll see. Hopefully, in the next couple months.
All right.
Sorry, I don't have a better answer.
No, that's fine. I know that I saw you guys do the stream of Pow World, and I don't know. I was just curious if David and company were willing to come back.
You want to know why we streamed?
Why?
So that we could play this fucking game with Jake.
Yeah, because of the, year by committee thing. I don't get to pick what I play. So the only game I'm allowed to play, like, outside of content right now is fucking Final Fantasy 14, which is going to be a fucking bear to get through.
Yeah.
Even just the base game of that.
And you can only play other games unless if they're streaming, or do you have to play the game that's streaming?
No, like I'll play whatever for streaming.
Okay.
That's like the like two like rules that go with like any of my challenges are that if it gets in the way of our content, I won't do it, and if it gets in the way of me enjoying stuff my friends make, I won't do it. So like, I'll be listening to like all of the File Under stuff I'm not on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because Eric's my friend and I like his show and I want to support it, so I'm not
Yeah.
going to stop listening to that. But every other podcast that I, listen to that's not made by people that I'm actually friends with, I'm not going to listen to unless it's the one that people vote to have me listen to.
Nice.
Yep.
I think you're gonna appreciate how nerdy I get in the A episode, Jake. By the way.
Yeah.
I may have gone uber nerd with the Predators in AVP, and done just a lot of just stupid research into things that probably nobody else cared for except for myself.
Nice.
That's funny.
I did a little bit of extra research about the Yachuas, and I was like, oh, this is interesting to me. And I realized, oh no, I like halfway through yelling at Eric about something. I was like, oh, I'm the big fucking nerd here in this one. And it was funny because Mark didn't give a flying fuck about anything. AVP, he thought the movie was dumb, and so it's just me yelling, "No, Eric, this is their blood ritual. This is why it sucks." And Eric is like, "No, Jared," and I'm like, "But I read the shit. I did the research." And Mark is just like nodding in agreement. He's like, "Okay, yeah, whatever, nerds."
God, I cannot wait to watch that episode now.
Yeah, no, like I get a little excited in AVP, and it's just me screaming nonsense at Eric while Mark doesn't give a fuck. It's great.
That's funny.
It's great.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I will probably put it off until I finish this podcast. Because
No,
again, I'm
right.
trying to get through it. I'm trying to minimize the amount of my episodes I have to listen to.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I I don't apologize whatsoever. I now have a X, and it's because I got to vote on something dumb for you. By the way, have you guys just ever mindlessly scrolled through Twitter or X? Never just
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I pretty much like see everyone that I follow. Like I generally like go through in the day and like see everything they post. But I only pay attention to like the follower thing. I don't go on the
The
like
For You page.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't. uh,
Fair.
I have come across so many weird things on X. It is just insane. And I was wondering if you had seen the insanity just going on the For You page, and it feels like it's a mix between inside jokes with other people, porn ads for OnlyFans, and then death and destruction. Like that's all it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the news. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could call it that. It's I don't know.
Yeah, I make it an effort not to get my news from Twitter. I like
Oh God. Yeah.
it's like part of my morning routine is that like I get my first cup of coffee and I just like sit down and take like 20 minutes to like go through. I usually go through like the Google like news thing and just like scroll through that because it like if anything major happens, it's there. And
Yeah.
if something's not major, then you know, I probably don't care.
That the Google
Yeah.
the Google News page is actually pretty good. You find a lot of fun articles because I mean, you are technically the product with Google, so it knows you, and it is nice to read some of those articles. I always have at least 5 or 6 extra tabs of articles that I want to read throughout the week. It is nice.
Fair. I do a lot of local news just because of like what I do for a living. You know,
Fair.
I always look at local stuff and see what's going on because especially like with my position being given even more like contact with the outside and having to work with like community partners a lot more. Like I have to kind of know what's going on in my town now, which sucks because some of the people in city government are absolutely stupid as fuck.
That's
Fair.
It's government for you, David.
There's some really smart people doing some really cool shit where we live, honestly, that like some of it I know about because of my work and I can't talk about it yet because it's not like public knowledge. But like there is some cool stuff coming and our town is definitely trying to like do a lot to help people right now, especially like I know there's some stuff out there and a lot of money allocated for like homelessness and veterans aid that's coming, but like there are some people in our city government who are fucking just they're nice people, but God are they dumb.
Well, David, I think then you can help with this next question, my brother.
Okay.
Advice.
What would you say then to your friends if you did win the lottery? Speaking of money and stupidity.
If I won the lottery, well, that's easy. First things first, my parents' debt and everything is settled, paid off, done. Uh, I would immediately set up 3 accounts for both of my children, one being a college fund, one being a CD that with at least a 12% compounding interest, and then I would also set up both of them a Roth IRA with at least 10% growth. Um, and that doesn't have to be a ton. Also, are we talking like it doesn't matter, man? Even if I won 1 million, I'd be able
Well,
to set like my whole family up, and then I would probably there's a couple organizations here locally that I would work with, and then I would also contact obviously um, Extra Life, and I would actually try to set up an additional maybe event or something for the hospital that my son was born in to try to help them and help more kids. Obviously, I'd be doing stuff like that. You know, I'd buy my wife a car because she doesn't have one right now. You know, things like that. But I'd be responsible with my money. Like, I've worked too hard for everything I fucking have. So, and I've learned a lot from a lot of my friends and teaching financial literacy to other people. So, like, I think I'd be setting up a ton of different shit so that my family would be taken care of if I was gone, and also giving back to my community and the people around me.
The question was, what would you say to your friends if you won the lottery? Not what you would do
Oh,
with it.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
You're good.
What would I say to my friends?
Yeah, the question from Ask Women is, what would you say to your friends if you won the lottery?
Fucking nothing. Y'all wouldn't fucking know. Are you fucking kidding me? If I ask fucking Jake to what he wants to order for food, 9,000 people fucking jump in on that and they're like, buy me some food. Fuck you guys. You get a job. Jesus Christ. Like, fuck off. I don't do handouts. If you need something, come talk to me. But if you just want something, like, eat a dick.
Jake, what would you say to your friends if you won the lottery? I mean,
I wanted to jokingly say something very similar to David. Kind of stole the thunder. I was gonna say I would tell them you don't know me.
I mean,
But
that's fair.
I know me. The money wouldn't last if I was in that situation.
Yeah.
Because of exactly what David's talking about. Admittedly, less because of friends, more because of certain family members. But I know how it would go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would keep enough to like live, invest it aside, but the rest of it would go pretty quick.
That's fair. I would tell you guys, like, hey, you're gonna notice some shit that's different. Just know stupidity is about to ensue. So just be patient with me. That's what I would tell people if I won the lottery.
If you told me that way, I would just assume that you fucking like took a loan from a loan shark or something when you started having new shit.
No,
or you started selling drugs.
Yeah. Dude, I thought about that. I thought about being a drug runner.
It's not worth it.
I mean, it would be pretty easy, right? Because like I know a lot of the back roads here in central Wisconsin.
They always get caught.
I know. They always do. But it's always that final run, man. The final run I told myself. Just the last one. And it turns out
the real smart move is to do it in an airport. That's the pro tip.
Yep.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Because that's how they do it in the movies.
But I mean, especially if it's cocaine, you have to do your cocaine deals in the airport.
And you have to shove it up.
That's Tim Allen.
Yeah. That worked out great. I mean, he went on to be a pretty big star. So I mean, I guess just get caught in an airport, do a couple years of hard time for cocaine, and you're in, baby. You're in.
Cocaine and cocaine accessories.
Next thing you know, you're on Disney's payroll. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna hate that joke.
Yeah, but nobody's listening, so it's no big deal. What's something
Jake's
great?
Gonna get a cease and desist letter.
Just me.
Oh, if we get a cease and desist letter, I'm fucking reading that shit on air. I don't care.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I'm very interested to hear the language of it too.
Right? Yeah.
Please
stop, you fucking. No.
Please stop reading up the convicted crimes of Tim Allen.
We know it's a matter of public record, but Disney does not like the public record.
Mickey Mouse entered the public domain now, so yeah, I concur.
No.
No.
Steamboat Willy entered public domain.
Okay, so what is so this is not a question, but what is the difference between Steamboat Willy and Mickey Mouse? Is it just because one's black and white?
it's the specific style
Yeah.
of it, because it's a weird thing of it. It's not the character going public domain, it's the property which Mickey Mouse is part of.
Yep.
So like if you draw Mickey Mouse looking like Steamboat Willy, you can make an argument that it's public domain now. But if it looks like modern Mickey, then it's not. And it's similar to like how Winnie the Pooh is public domain, but the version of Winnie the Pooh that's owned by Disney, which is like the version that you like have in your mind with like the red shirt, isn't. So like you can use Winnie the Pooh however you want, but if you put him in a red shirt, then it's no longer public domain.
Yep.
It's weirdly specific.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm looking at a side by side of Steamboat Willie and Mickey, and it's too like, yeah, to me it's like, oh, his buttons are a little bit smaller, his shoes actually a little bit wider, and the other one's in fucking color. Like that's
Yeah, that is one of, and it's weird how like specifically the coloration of it does actually matter. Because like you can, for instance, do a Mickey Mouse looking character with the same colors as long as it's not the same like areas colored the same.
yeah.
Because like I know there was a famous I think it was a pizza place or whatever in New York or Chicago. It came up when people were arguing about this on the internet, and so I'd have to read about it again. And they used to use a character that was very similar to Mickey Mouse, but they just changed the colors, and they actually got sued for it and won the lawsuit because it was not quite Mickey Mouse style, and the colors were different, or they were the same colors but in different stylization than Mickey.
Get wrecked, Disney. Fuck your couch.
Yeah, feel free to correct me, David, but I've been told like the like generally like the precedent is if people can reasonably be expected to like not confuse the characters, then it's legal. If there's like enough overlap that like a court determines like no, you like might be tricking people into thinking this is an official thing, then it's no longer public domain.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
generally that's the standard. There's a couple other things that have to be taken into consideration, but yeah, overarching, that's like the best way to put it in a layman's terms. Yeah.
Okay.
There's actually a specific test that has been devised, a legal test for copyright law and things like that, that has like specific points that they have to look at. Which,
Interesting.
oddly enough, to bring this back around, I learned about that test because of all of the Pal World stuff. And a lot of the claims from Nintendo, even right now, are not legal because, like, they're claiming that they're doing a deep dive investigation on another company's intellectual property and all that stuff. But there is a lot of legal battles also happening. But like, it's typical Nintendo shit of where they're like flexing their muscles in a way that if you actually like look into corporate law, they can't do. So,
Well,
God, I'm curious in how this is gonna
Well,
go.
I know a modder is actually in trouble because they made a mod for Pal World to have Pokemon, and he got shut down.
Well, that's based off of a different law, though. That's not copyright law. That's well, I mean, it's part of it, but it's strictly based off of the DMCA stuff. He got shut down based off of that, which DMCA doesn't actually touch the issue between Pokemon and Pal World.
well, the other thing is that both companies involved are Japanese, and the copyright laws are very different in Japan.
Correct.
It's one of like the two big differences between this and like most of the Nintendo like super shitty lawsuit stuff is that one, they're both Japanese, and two, it's between companies. Usually the reason Nintendo is so effective is because it's like an individual person going against one of the biggest companies in the world. So of course they're going to be like instantly crushed. Whereas this is like an actual, like not nearly as big, but it is like an actual company that is going to actually be able to like afford lawyers which makes it less likely that Nintendo will
Yeah.
like try stuff.
Which
Because they might actually have to go to court over it.
I'm super curious to see, because market forces might drive this to create the most successful Pokemon game ever. Because I feel like Pokemon will probably respond in the next couple of years with their own version. And as much as I enjoy Pal World, let's be honest, the studios behind Pokemon have so much more power within their dev team alone that it there's no way that if they set out to blow this thing out of the water that they don't do it.
Yeah.
Define that
I-
statement for me, please, David. Sorry, Jake.
What do you mean?
If they put their mind to it, blow this thing out of the water, as in like created a better game than Pal World, or create a Pokemon version that everybody's gonna go, oh fuck, this is the game that we finally wanted, because they took what Pal World was doing and put it into the Pokemon universe. What did you mean by that? My brain
Either one.
Okay.
Either one. I think that if the Pokemon Studios makes this exact same game with the Pokemon twist on it and in the Pokemon universe, you instantly kill this game, because there is such a massive, not only nostalgia for it, but also just such a huge active Pokemon fan base. I mean, the Pokemon fan base is one of the largest fan bases in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, financially, it is. It is the
Yeah.
biggest franchise of
Yeah,
like any
exactly.
media.
Right. And so I think even if they just do that, I mean, when you take into it that, they have a history of when they look at how their games start to fail, which is funny because a failing Pokemon game still beats out most other video games in the world. They're like, we have to do something to revitalize the franchise. They generally end up making what people then start calling the best Pokemon game ever. And then they top that for the next two. So seeing that studio try to make a game like this, I don't see how they fail. I don't
Yeah,
see how they don't just blow it out of the water.
I do hope, as a Pokemon fan, that this like lights a fire under their ass, because like a lot of people, I think that Pokemon, like since it went into 3D graphics, which was X and Y, has been like not as good. And I think it's because the Pokemon company is such a weird thing. Like everyone assumes that because it's Nintendo like associated, it's this like massive giant like Call of Duty level dev team. It's not. Power World has a bigger dev team than Pokemon does.
Really?
Which worked for them when they were doing like the pixel stuff. I think it's actually part of why those games were so good, because it was this like very small, like almost like double A approach that I think helped them like grow slowly instead of like exploding and trying to do too much. But I think when they went into 3D, they needed to like significantly change how they were doing things, and they just didn't. They just kept doing it the same way. And it's why they're newer games, because a lot more work has to go into that. And you're not really like increasing like your workforce or like changing how you're approaching it. That's why the modern games are so janky and the animations aren't great. Like all that stuff that people complain about with modern Pokemon, because they're still approaching it the same way they were when they were making handheld pixel art games in like the 2000s. And that doesn't work for like a AAA console 3D open world game. You can't approach it that way. So I hope Power World like gets them to like try new things on like the development side. Now that they have like actual competition for the first time since like the 90s.
Yeah.
That is a very good assessment, Jake.
Thanks. I know too much about Pokemon.
As a non-Pokemon nerd, I feel like so do I.
You're welcome.
No, you're a part of it. You're a part of it now, David. Congratulations. Next question here. Before we start talking more about Pokemon, which seems to be the theme of this podcast, in every podcast where we talk about games, it always comes back around to Pokemon. What's something great about childhood that no one ever told you about? What is something great about childhood that nobody ever told you about? adulthood. Sorry, adulthood.
I was like, wait, what?
Don't
Right.
look. I'm looking for an excuse to get up and walk away, but I have my in-ear buds and I can't just walk away like I normally do because I do want to hear your questions and answers, and I don't want to actually just ignore what you were saying. So because it's starting to get nice and warm here in Wisconsin, which means I can turn down my heat. But until I turn it down, I'm gonna be roasting in this hoodie, and nobody wants to see me with his shirt off. All right, let's be honest with you. So, what is something great about adulthood that no one ever told you about?
Is there
Do
something?
you have an answer for this one, Jared?
I do. The euphoric rush of walking naked around my apartment, knowing that at any moment my neighbors will look into my big bay windows and go, "Why did I look over here?" That just gives me butterflies on the inside. That makes me so happy.
Jared, I think you just revealed a little bit about your kink there, buddy.
Not the first time he's talked about it on the podcast, David.
Oh, God.
Jake, I'm gonna die.
Jesus.
I hate you, Jake. No, but no, like seriously, like just the freedom to kind of do like whatever the fuck I want. Like I hear a lot of people, they're like, "Oh, I gotta do this or I gotta do that or this happens," and like people are like, "Jared, what'd you do on the weekend?" And I'm really like, "You don't want to know why? I did fuck all. I did nothing. I played video games, stayed up too late, ingested way too much caffeine, and I hate myself right now. But that's okay because I had fun." And nobody like I know people are like, "Oh, you could do whatever you want in adulthood." But I didn't know that mean you could just fuck off. Like I do all the typical things that you have to do to be an adult, but like the fact that I can just go, "Fuck it. I'm doing nothing. I'm video gaming today. I have this podcast and then I can do whatever the fuck I want for the next 12 hours and be totally okay." Fucking I'm gangster, dude. I'm gangster. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of similarly, just the idea that like like no one I could potentially have a situation where people don't know where I am, and that's fine. Weirdly, like, and like my parents weren't like super strict or anything, but like just the freedom of like I don't have to check in with anyone. Like no one needs to know where I am. I could be like completely just somewhere random with like no one needing to know that is weirdly fantastic to me.
Just off radar for 24 to 48 hours with nothing, and you're just like, yeah, no, it's good. It's all right. It's fine. I can appreciate that. I wanted to do the joke there. I wanted to do the joke where it's like, all right, moving on. We've answered the question. No big deal.
I don't really know. Like, I don't know. Like, everything that I think that I enjoy about being an adult was pretty, like, readily discussed by my parents just because of the way they were. I mean, yeah, there's the whole not having to be accountable to anyone
Mm-hmm.
thing. Sure, that's cool. Not a big deal for me. Like, honestly, the biggest thing for me is not having to wait for like holidays or birthdays to get things that I want.
True.
If I want some, like, and part of that's also less about adulthood and more about having a good job and being financially stable. Like, if there's something that I really want, I'm just gonna buy it.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to wait for a reason or an excuse or hope that my parents get it for me for Christmas. Like, all of that shit from childhood. I'm just like, yeah, all right, I've got adult money. It does make fucking Christmas shopping hard as shit because my wife is like, what do you want? I don't fucking know. I bought everything I wanted. What do you want? At least she has this like weird ADHD hyper focus on stuff where she's like, I'm really into this now. So I'm just buy her shit associate. I don't even have that. People are like, what do you like? I don't know. Shit, stuff. I don't know. Fucking some shows that ended 10 years ago.
Yeah, bring back Last Man Standing. That's what I want for Christmas.
Fucking Tim Allen, really?
No, with what's his name? Last Man on Earth. There we go. Last Man on Earth.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
no.
was like, wait a minute.
No. Last Man on Earth. Yeah, sorry.
I thought that was a great callback.
I thought it was too.
Bring back Home Improvement.
Yeah, bring back Home
There you
Improvement.
go.
We talk
Oh
about
my
talk
God.
about Wilson all the time, dude. At work, because like people will have their webcams where it's just like their nose and above, and we're like, "Hey, Wilson, can we see you so we know you're okay?"
Wilson.
I gotta ask.
I know, different Wilsons, but still.
No, you're all good. Final question here, so I can let you guys get back to what you were doing. If you were to give a TED Talk, what would your TED Talk be about? If you had to give a TED Talk, what would your TED Talk be about? And it can't be Pokemon versus Pal World.
Was it going to be?
Right? Yeah.
It would be Pokemon versus Digimon.
And everybody
Yeah,
wave
a
bye to
classic.
Jake.
Yeah, but Jake might actually. I don't know.
No, for me, it would be probably about the like history and legacy and kind of underappreciated like legacy of editors in comics. So I think it's like one of the most important like side of like the creative thing of like comic books that no one talks about. But I think like really recontextualizes things like the Stan Lee Jack Kirby rivalry that like it is complicated but makes a lot more sense if you look at Stan Lee as in less as a writer and more as an editor who did some writing.
Okay.
Right.
I think it really changes how you view him. And then I think like people like Louis Simonson is like probably one of the most important like figures in comics for like a decade and a half before she even started writing comics, because she was like one of the like the central Marvel editors and is like as important to like things like X-Men as any like writer or artist, but doesn't really like get like any like credit or like even historical attention really, which always
Gotcha.
kind of fascinates me that there's like these incredibly important people in this industry that like no one talks about because they're an editor, which kind of gets written off as like even by like other like artists and writers a lot of times kind of get treated as a bad thing, and it's not. They're very important to the process, especially for like mainstream superhero comics where you have this like dozens of writers and artists and like hundreds of storylines that have to like match up. Like
Right.
the editorial is like insanely important in that process and almost never gets mentioned.
Yeah.
That would be a great TED Talk. That would be a great one. David, do you have an answer?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Like, I would probably. It would be something along the lines of like about prison reform or, uh, correctional treatment and mental health treatment for individuals who are justice involved, because that's where my expertise is. That's also something that I deal with constantly. I see it. I know the statistics. I know a lot about that field, and it's also something that while our country is getting better at, no one really has a good model. Um Even a lot of the ones that are like lauded as, oh well, we should do it like X country, right? But we don't have the same issues and or culture as that country. We can't just take another country system and plug and play it into America and expect it to actually help people. We have to actually examine the structures and the systems that we do have, and work within that, because you can't.
Oh, he lagged out.
Oh no.
He lagged out. Shit.
Weird.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that he was playing Pal World.
I don't think so. We're on the same internet.
No. Yeah. Well, David is
That's-
officially dead.
Huh. Yeah, I have no idea what happened. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
So he should have better internet than me because he's like hardlined in on the same internet as me.
Dude, the router is right behind him, too. I can see it blinking red.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't.
Interesting.
Huh.
I hope he's okay.
Right?
Well, it's not a big deal, right, Jake? Because that's part of being an adult, right? You can be somewhere without having to be in contact with somebody for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, was it just a Discord issue?
Yeah, it was just
Okay.
Discord.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
I thought it
Yep.
was. I thought it.
That's the
Okay.
first time that has ever happened to me.
Yeah, get him, Discord. Welcome to my world.
Yeah, I've never had an issue with Discord before. That's my first.
I wonder if it's the integration of Discord and Pal World together, trying to cooperate.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Could be.
But continue. You said something about how like we're trying to plug and play, but it doesn't work like Apple in today's societies and worlds.
That's not what I said, but I mean, yeah, we can't just take another country's existing system and just apply it to our system and expect it to work. In a perfect world, you could just tear down the structures that are there and rebuild and start anew, but we don't live in a perfect world. That's not how things work. You have to look at the framework that is there and work within that to then make it better over time. And that's a lot of the times with any sort of reform, especially in the United States, what ends up happening is one, you get groups who either look at it and go, well, we can't achieve the outcome that we want, so we're just not going to continue trying,
Mm-hmm.
or there's not enough willingness and buy-in from the people who actually have to do the stuff, and then the new reform fails. And so like you really have to get better at getting buy-in with the people who are actually going to be willing to do it, which also means involving them in the conversation, but that's also very difficult. But anyways.
No, that's fair. I do like how the fact that a lot of our answers are actually inherently tied to a lot of what we do in our day-to-day work, because like you would mention, we are experts in our field. Like if I had to give a TED talk, my first immediate thought was actually how to deal with salespeople, right? Like how to actually interact with the salesperson. Because in my day-to-day, that's what I do. I see both sides of it from a managerial standpoint, also as well as a frontline agent. And one of the most famous things that I talk about all the time is like a lot of times a person will say something to a sales agent just to throw them off their game and to see how they respond. Like Best Buy, the few times I do go to Best Buy, they're like, hey, do you want to invest in the Best Buy card? And I'm like, hey, well, I mean, I tried, but are you guys going to approve it since the last time you guys denied me? They don't ask the follow-up question to go, when was the last time you applied? And I would answer 2017, right? I just throw that out there to shut them up and see how good of a salesperson they are, right? A lot of the times we will apply our craft that we do to other things. And I just think it's very interesting that, I mean, Jake, with your journalism background and everything that you do for journalism, and Dave with your correctional side of things, and then with me, sales. Like, I just think that's interesting how we would give TED Talks on the things that we are experts in and how we think that they can change. I think that just speaks to our passion about what we do as a job. Just kind of surprised nobody said anything that had to do with video games, which is what has ultimately brought us all together. But I would give a TED Talk on how bad Pokemon is, though. Why Generation 1 is the only generation. That's my TED Talk.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
And it's okay to be wrong, Jake, right?
Look, Gen 1 had a fucking magnet Pokemon. Pokemon's always been silly and stupid. That's just nostalgia.
Jake's not wrong. But I also agree with Jake.
1 p.m. CST noon Mountain Time.
Quit saying.
I
quit saying
promise
one.
you I'm not stupid. I'm just panicking.
Take one out of your vocabulary. I thought it was just one. All right.
Can I be honest with y'all? I thought they were all robots at the zoo. I've never seen one in the wilds. So as far as I was concerned, they don't actually exist, but apparently they do. So that blows my mind.
That was episode 212. Copyright my casting couch, Pal World. Oh shit! It did stop.